Recently, mixed feelings have met UK's request of Nigerian teachers. Many people have been scared that this possible request might cause another brain drain that we've experienced with the doctors leaving, the nurses leaving. According to the reports, what happened is that from February 1st, 2023, Nigerian teachers who have the TRCN will from that time be eligible to receive automatically the qualified teaching status QTS in England, which makes them eligible to teach. Now, of the 1.5 million pool that this report had, about 350,000 teachers from the TRCN website are qualified for this conversion. So there's a potential 350,000 teachers who might migrate because they have the TRCN certificate and they will be able to teach abroad. Other countries that the UK is looking to get this recruitment is Ghana, Hong Kong, India, Jamaica, Singapore, South Africa, Ukraine, and Zimbabwe. So we're just one of those countries. And the conversation is, it hasn't happened yet. We are only projecting that these amount of people might leave. Nigerians are scared, saying that would we have a lot of teachers migrate, move? What are your thoughts on this? Call us on 081-270-53687, 091-390-7694. You can also tweet to us at TVC Connect. Please hashtag YourView TVC so we can read your tweets. All right, let me come to the ladies. UK recently, if we recall a few days ago, last week, their nurses were saying that they're not being paid. They were going on strike because they were not being paid. And yet, this is the same country that was recruiting our own Nigerian doctors to their country. So people are saying that they're looking for cheap labor. You know, now they're now opening their doors against the teachers. So, I mean, this is the same country that they have workers. I mean, when I was there, at least the workers for the train workers went on strike.
A few weeks ago, their teachers went on strike.
So are they looking for cheap labor going to Africa? Because no matter what it is they offer us, is much more than what we have presented. So what do you think?
What do you expect?
Why do you think?
Dollars is dollars, pound is pound.
So they're apparently looking for cheap labor. And that's because, you know, a few weeks ago, they had the teacher strike. I'm sure this, for me, is a business decision for them. They would have said or weighed the options. If we get cheap labor from African countries and other countries where they are not doing so well in their own country, and we slash the prices, we will not get bankrupt as a nation, and then we're able to offer quality education to our children. I want to tell Nigerians, we should have seen this coming. This is the time to embrace and celebrate your own and treat your own well. Teachers have lamented over the years on the sort of treatment they have been getting in the nation. Salaries not paid on time. In fact, when I was growing up, it's good to say, I want to be a teacher. There was a pride in saying, I want to be a teacher. It was one of the things that I wished. Yes, I said I wanted to be a teacher. But now, if your child says they want to be a teacher, you will knock them on the head. We will keep quiet. You have not seen other things you want to become. You want to become a teacher. Because we have neglected the people who are in charge of educating the society. The people who are supposed to be paid better than the legislators have been ignored. And then we have teachers who are struggling to make ends meet. Every time I go to schools and I see teachers, I don't feel good at all because I was once a teacher and I knew how it was at the time, catering and taking care of other children and their needs and everything that they need to become better human beings academically and otherwise. And we have neglected them. We're not meeting up to the quota we're supposed to earmark in our budget for education. We are not even going anywhere near there. Instead, when we do our budget, let's look critically at our budget and tell us if we take education to be one of the most important things.
In Nigerian history, this government's...
but it's not enough.
It's not enough.
It's not enough. So we need to do more. So instead of us, I don't want us to lament and say, UK, they will do what they need to do for their country. It's a business decision for them. What can we do here to keep our own?
I have a call. I've been holding for a minute. Good morning. I think I have a call from Ade from London. Go ahead, please. You're live.
Yeah, good morning.
Morning, sir. Morning.
Number one, they are paid here in UK. You don't owe anybody salary. They are only looking for salary increase. In UK, the salary is paid automatically. You don't owe anybody. So saying that they don't pay them, what is wrong, please?
Is the strike is for salary increase?
Increment.
Yeah, they just want salary increase. That's all. They've given them increase, but they are not satisfied. That is the reason they are on strike. So, regarding the teachers in UK, you need patience to be a teacher in UK. You have to exercise patience because no smart in here. So, if Nigeria are coming here, they are welcome, but they have to exercise patience when they are teaching the students here. That is my advice to them. Yeah.
Thank you so much. Yes, continue.
See, I think you've discussed all the economic effects and everything. For me, I find it interesting because this is our country. We like to bring in the expert teachers to speak with their British accents and their American accents, and we laugh at our Nigerian accents. Now, our Nigerian accented teachers are going to go over there and teach their British children with our Nigerian accent, and their British children too will be saying January, February. You know, just it will be, yeah, but the content of what they're saying is what is important, right? So for me, I just feel that it's interesting times. We're in a global village. So I hear your point where you're saying we are not treating our teachers right. That is why, you know, another country that's even willing to give them the barest minimum, they would leave. And for me, the question also is, why are they needing Nigerian teachers? Are they treating their own teachers right? So it's a global thing. It's not a Nigerian thing. Yes, some countries are better than others. As we know, some countries are richer than others. But globally, are teachers given the respect? Are teachers remunerated, you know, at the level that they need to, given the sacrifices and the work that they put in raising nations? And I think that globally, we're not doing the best for teachers. I truly feel that teaching should be one of the best paid professions worldwide. But that's not, you know, paradox of life. That's not the reality. But as a advice to our country, we need to do better. Things are really tough here in this country. The reason why people don't want their children to be teachers is not because teaching as a profession is a bad profession. It's because of how their welfare. You know, you find a teacher who's taught for many years and the teacher has nothing to show for it.
Even a car.
There are no, you know, you find children, they're shocked that their teachers do not have cars to take them from one point to the other, because the child understands how important this teacher is, you know, and here you are. Exactly, they love their teachers. They understand many people would even tell you stories of their lives and how, if not for a particular teacher in their life, their lives would have turned, you know, a bad way. So as a nation and as a people, we need to give teachers that respect that they deserve and also pay them better in Nigeria.
Okay, I have Anthony. Good morning, Anthony. Are you there?
Yes, I'm here.
You're live. Go ahead, please.
Good morning.
Good morning.
I just want to quickly chip in something. I think the last caller I actually spoke part of what I wanted to say. But the next thing I was just going to add is, from what Miriam was trying to say, you see, the world is a global village these days. Government operates their countries.
I can't hear you. All right, so the world, I'm going to come to you, talk about the world. I keep hearing the world is a global village. Maybe it's time for us to also find some kind of incentive to bring in foreign teachers, foreign doctors, foreign nurses to our country. Because, hey, you've lived abroad all your life. You've used all the best medical equipment. You've had a great life. Come to Africa and experience the other side of the world. Because we are exporting ours, you are taking it. So maybe it's a good way for us to extend. Staying with us, join us on the show now is the Lagos Central Senatorial candidate, Frank Adewale Gomez. He will be speaking on his candidacy and his mission to the upper legislative chamber of the National Assembly, the difference he plans to make if voted in by his constituents. Welcome to the show, sir.
Thank you very much. It's a pleasure being here.
So before we get into your conversation, before you came in, we were talking about this possible exodus of our teachers from February 2023. We're going to say something concerning that before I bring...
Yes. So we've all highlighted a very, very important part of the conversation. But what I see is a government that is planning ahead, a government that sees a deficit, a challenge, and the UK government feeling that from February next year, we'll start putting this plan into place. Now, they've made an announcement that they want to take our teachers. I'm waiting for what announcement our own Minister for Education is going to make on how they will replace those teachers, because you can't take away the fact that our teachers will go. But you can say from the 1st of January, the federal government will start recruiting assistant teachers or bystand teachers go through training for this period of time. We also, as a government, must show that we are thinking ahead of whatever would happen, so that it's not lamentation. And we haven't seen that response from the Minister of Information has said anything, Minister of Interior has said anything, Minister of Education has said anything. What are we going to do to combat this? Canada has already said the number of people they want to take from Nigeria. They said we need this number of people over this number of years. Every country is thinking of how to solve their problem. I don't want government in Nigeria to lament about the problem, but tell us how you want to solve our educational crisis that will happen.
We'll dig further on this another day, because we just highlighted it. But now that we have our guest on the show, maybe it's one of the things he will help us to resolve policy on education, on policy on brain drain, to reduce brain drain. These are things that we need to start thinking ahead and stop. But let me just come to you, sir. Welcome to our show.
Thank you very much.
What are your thoughts? Let's start with the just concluded conversation concerning the possibility that the UK is asking Nigerians across a few other countries to bring in their teachers, as they're asking the teachers to come in. Once they have the TRCN, they qualify automatically to teach. What are your thoughts on this, and what can our government do to stop this migration, this possible migration?
Oh, thank you very much for the question. First, I want to thank you for inviting me here.
Yes.
It's an opportunity and I will never forget. Really, Nigeria is blessed. We're blessed the fact that they can call us and say, come and help us out in their educational deficit. And it shows a lot that we might not have the structure to develop the educational system, but we have the content to make it a better place for the students. There will be a massive exodus, because when you look at the exchange rates and you look at everything, you see that you probably live better over there than staying here. And it's a simple common sense that they want to move. What we need to start doing right now, I personally would think that we should start looking at those people that have just come out of the youth service. That's a critical mass of people. You let them out in the system, you let them flow. After youth service, they have nowhere to go, and they want to japa, as they say. But if we pick them up and train them and make them do a stopgap for the process we're going through, then it will be better for us to start doing that right now. But from February, I can guarantee you that there's going to be a massive deficit.
Yeah, but so let me come to you. If you become senator, I imagine you're a senator, and I know you're on the party is PDP, correct?
Yes.
So imagine you're a senator, and then you get this news, and your people are leaving. Now, if you want to say people who are graduating, those guys don't have the kind of experience some of these people are having. So would you consider a policy that attracts our talents from abroad, even maybe not Nigerians, maybe not Nigerians? I mean, there are many Ghanaians who live abroad who are also looking for somewhere to go jackpot to. Is it possible you do a policy to bring back able hands for our teaching, our health industries within our country?
Now, what I'll say is this, it's very simple. You look at the point of saying bring people here to come and do what? If the structure is not there for them, you can't go from high to come back to low. What I'll bring personally is to bring a system, develop a system where we will make sure that we encourage those that are here, and the ones that just finished, the critical mass I was saying about, you look for a way of training them, because experience starts from what day one. You start learning from day one. And if they don't have the experience and they have principles, people that are still here that can be part of them, it'll be a solid thing for us to do. If you now start saying, let me go and get people from the other part, the system is not working, that's why people are leaving. So how would they now say, if it's not working, I'm going to go back to where it's not working when I'm in a stable environment?
Okay, I'll let the ladies jump in there, because I have a follow-up question, but I'll keep it for
So I would have thought that before we start looking at bringing people who are just graduating, would first think of how we can do something for people already in the teaching industry. People who are teaching, people who have not been paid most of the time. What do you think should be government's plan concerning the welfare of the teachers available? So I don't personally believe that most Nigerians want to leave the country. They leave because it seems like there's no hope. What hope are you going to give to those people that I would give you this, if you stay, I'll make this easy for you, I'll make this possible for you, to get them to stay? Then we now start looking at the people who are graduating from school.
First and foremost, as a legislator, we don't have the executive power to say we have to do this. We can only bring in the atmosphere for it to be done.
The bills, right?
Yeah, the bills. Now, generally, I've been abroad. I know how the system works over there. They'll make sure that you get paid on time. They'll make sure that your salary is commensurate with what is outside the country. They'll make sure that it's practically impossible for you to live where you do because the conditions of teachers are very, very good. Now, how are we going to do that? Number one, we have to understand that all this entails funding. And Nigeria right now has a deficit issue. We're borrowing everywhere. So for them to now take that control of that funding and transfer it to teaching profession, I think we should make it an emergency bill where we'll say, okay, for the next 1 or 2 years, we're going to make sure that education is a priority. And our country will now have a bill, even if it's going to be an executive bill, to make sure that we have a solid... The problem we have, I'll say it here and everywhere in the world, is that most of the people that could have done this or make this work, they're older generation. They cannot understand the digital system we're in right now. And the structure that we have is analog.
You're not so young, sir.
I'm fairly used.
What does that even mean?
So what I'm saying is that we need a system where, let me tell you something. I was trying to do something on the telephone. And I found it hard to do. And my little daughter just came and punched it. And it was solved.
2 seconds.
2 seconds, they just solve it. Where are at that point? Those children are at that point right now. What are we doing to make even the teachers that are teaching them don't know as much as those children know?
Yeah, true.
That's the problem. I will tell you that for free. Because the internet has trained them, has given them the opportunity to expand on their brains and their mind. So the only place you can get those, and they can meet up. Sometimes when I even listen to these children, when they talk, they even sound American, more American than myself that live in America. Because, and some of them have not even left this country when I go to my first place.
Let's take a few more questions. Let's take a few more questions
So,
concerning...
Mr. Gomez, yes, would you...